I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, you're getting attention's half been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there, you'll be lean and mean. Yeah, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was. Toby Keith. Toby Keith. What a poet. What a poet. How you doing, Miss Gina?
I'm so good now. That is so funny. And I'd like to, you know, as Tim Conway Jr. says, I'm too uncomfortable to do this off the mic. So I figure because of the song you just played, I do have to call you out on something right from the beginning. And it's because it's mostly inspired by the song you just played. No, this is not the time for that. You have to hear me loud and clear.
Okay, good. I can hear you now. Yeah,
okay. I have to call you out on your egregious.
Oh, here we go.
Egregious, aggressive, some would say dangerous, borderline illegal, false modesty.
What did I do?
You have the audacity to play a song called Not As Good As I Once Was. Well, five, Your Honor, days ago from when we're recording this, you post a picture of yourself with abs that I could scrub my laundry on, with a post that says, "This is 60." Vinnie did not know I was going to bring this up. I felt that I needed to keep you honest when you play a song like Not As Good As I Once Was. This picture has been the talk of our home, and that includes my young stepson and my husband. So what the hell? When did you take that? And what I keep telling them, it's not a lighting thing, it's not a Photoshop thing. Vinnie doesn't know how to do that. He doesn't know from Photoshop.
No. That was taken. I've gotten people like, okay, that's, you know, Photoshopped. It's not. You could tell if it's Photoshopped. How did I keep my face? My face looks like my face.
Right.
If it's Photoshop, I mean, there's nothing Photoshopped there. No. The only thing I had to do to take that picture is shave my stomach because I'm
right.
So I shaved my stomach minutes before that was taken.
That's it?
Yeah. Because, you know, as you know, we're doing a thing now. It might be up to date as we record this. I'm doing a thing now on Instagram, not on Instagram, I'm sorry,
YouTube.
On YouTube, where I'm putting up more pointed videos, educational stuff, and people are really watching them. And the next one I'm putting up is rock hard abs after 40.
Nice.
And the guys that work for me, we had a fight about this. That was a literal fight, Gina.
Okay. I'm going to your YouTube. Yes.
I don't see if it's up. It may be up today. If not, it's going up later today or tomorrow.
Okay.
They said, listen, you have to show your abs. You have to take the shirt off. You have. That's the only way these things work. You have this proof of concept. I pay people a lot of money that work for my vitamin company and everything. They've been trying to get me to take my shirt completely off for years. Gina, was it you or Anna? One day we were doing multiple shows, and it was
me
pointing at her. And I changed shirts, and I thought I was off camera. Something happened, right? I didn't even know it happened.
Yeah.
And when
I started screaming.
Yeah, she was like, "You look like that," and I was like, "What do you?" I didn't know what you were talking about. I think that's when you could see in the mirror. I think that prompted me to put that poster back there. It's like, shit, I went off camera and Gina saw me changing. I mean, it could have ended up more embarrassing than that, but
it was a sight. Now you know. Now you people know what I was looking at.
Right. So, no, I'm not as good as I once was. I mean, if you go back 30 years ago, those pictures, the conch shell picture and that picture are 30 years apart.
Unbelievable.
Obviously, there's a difference, right? Obviously, there's a difference. But for 60, I still have abs. And
you don't have abs. You have the abs. You have David's abs. You have, seriously, this picture. You must go to Vinnie's Instagram and look at it. You have carved from marble abs. Not like, no, I can see it. I can see it. If you squint, I can see it. No. These are like crazy abs, like a 10-pack.
Yeah. There was somewhere where I was more flexed than that, where you saw a lot more muscle. But Serena deemed them too grotesque. It's like flex less. And besides, I'm 60. So the skin, when you really crunch down, the skin is crepey.
Ah.
I have old man skin. You can't beat. Look, when I was 12, 13, and 14 and working out like an animal, older people who I thought had wisdom would say, when you stop doing all that exercise, all that muscle is going to turn to fat. If I didn't hear that 10,000 times before I hit 25, I didn't hear it once. Muscle turns to fat. That was a fait accompli. People thought that was an actual thing.
Yeah.
When I got to college, then I would go back and tell them, no, it's impossible. Muscle fiber and fat are two different things. Fat are cells within cells, and it's his own deal. And muscle turns to fat. I know a guy back in 1958. He was the captain of the football team. That guy looked like the statue of David. And now look at him. He's a big fat guy. That's all I heard my entire life. It's like, yeah, because he stopped taking care of himself and learned a little something about beer.
Right.
And just didn't take care of himself. So not only did his muscles atrophy, but he also got fat because he wasn't exercising and eating right.
Right. It may replace it. It doesn't turn into it.
That's correct.
So you just kind of forgot to stop exercising for 60 years. And I love that you picked a middle of the road picture that wasn't too quote unquote grotesque. And that's the one that you went with, because it is incredible. I mean, it really is. And you have to know it is, because it's your business to know that it is.
Yeah. Of course, I see what my body looks like. I can be objective. But even with that, I feel like I have old man body, and I don't like to, take my shirt off. And
well, we're awful glad you did. And if we all had a picture of ourselves with nothing but a conch shell in front of us, we would probably have more sympathy for you. But these days, it's any one of us would be happy to trade places with you. And one thing that I constantly remember, which, is something very in the weight loss community, and all the Facebooks I'm on, and I like to lurk in all kinds of, Facebook. And God, this thing, anything that interests me, I get involved in on a living. And it's always right when I just recorded with Teresa, and I said, and the thing you need to know more than anything, she had no idea what I said.
That was it.
Okay. So, they always say, don't judge yourself too harshly, because where you are now is where somebody else would give anything to be. So I'm on these groups, and there's women that are like, I'm so excited, truly. And I'm so happy for them. I was 300 pounds. I'm in the 200s. I never thought I'd get to the 200s. I'm so proud of myself, and they should be proud of themselves. So when we judge ourselves, we think, now don't get lazy and don't rest on your laurels. You still want to go where you're trying to go, but somebody would give anything to trade places with where you are right now. And Vinnie, you have to know, we would all give anything to trade places with where you are right now.
Well, look, the way I look at it is, of course, I go through all my comments because I care.
Sure.
And a lot of guys were going, hey, I'm 61, I'm 64, dude, because of you. That made me happy. They were lifting their shirts up and the whole thing. And it was like, and some of them wrote little notes going, some of them wrote to me privately. They didn't want to put them out. So my Instagram and my Twitter private thing. And a lot of them, hey, man, I don't want to show this publicly, blah, blah, blah. I'm the CEO of da, 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 da. But they would show me pictures of themselves lifting their shirts up. And a lot of heartwarming stories of, I was just trying to get my A1Cs in check. I was just trying to get, I was just trying to lose 80 pounds. I never thought A, B, C, and D. Right. And, I can't believe this. It's inspired my kids, my wife, my this, my that. A few women did the lift the shirt up thing.
Yeah.
And sent me the private thing. So that made me happy that I did it. No filters, no nothing. I still call it airbrushing because that's what you were doing back in the 80s, I guess.
That is how you know that Vinnie has not tweaked this picture, because he calls it airbrushing.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know how to do that. And I'm pretty sure Serena doesn't know either.
Nobody thinks that you know how to do Photoshop. Trust me.
Why is this, folks? Here's how you're going to know. Gina, when you and I text each other privately, how do I send an emoji?
You say it. So instead of a thumb up, you say thumbs up. So no, you do not know how to use filters or Photoshop. 100%.
Yeah, I write the words thumbs up emoji.
Yes. Yes. He'll write it like it's for the court transcript.
Yeah. Because, and I'm sure I can figure out where that little button is to press the emoji, but
why? It's your
Oh,
signature thing to tell me thumbs up emoji.
Yeah.
So I'm awful glad you did that. I'm sure if Serena ever got a hold of your DMs, well, she's very forgiving and understands what you do for a living, because a bunch of shirtless dudes and chicks in your DMs usually spells trouble in a relationship. You are the only exception to that.
Actually, Serena usually, I don't walk around, as you know, with the phone in my hand. And Serena hears my phone going zzz, or whatever it does. And if I'm around, she'll go, your phone's ringing, or someone sent you. And I'll go, yeah, thank you. You're not going to, no, I'm not.
You don't dive on top of it.
Yeah, I don't, most of the time, I don't know where my phone is.
Yeah.
I do bring it in here when I podcast, because sometimes we play stuff off of my phone. But I don't walk around with the phone.
No, it's not your thing.
I refuse to do that. When Gina writes to me, it could be hours before I get back to her.
Yes, it can.
I
always assume you're shooting at turkeys somewhere or something.
Yeah, no, I don't turkey hunt, but yeah, I could be shooting.
You don't?
I'm not a turkey hunter. It's a boring.
Oh, okay.
It's a boring hunt. I pheasant hunt and quail and
of course
and stuff. But no, turkey hunting is like duck hunting. It's just boring.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You don't know the different hunts, Gina? Come on.
Well, turkeys don't seem that fast, and they seem to have a pretty big target.
Oh no, turkeys are elusive. Turkeys are how the whole camel stuff started. You got to be like a sniper with turkeys.
Really?
Yeah, their eyesight is amazing. They see everything. As a matter of fact, guys with turkey guns, the guns are done in a mauvey kind of camo, because the shiny barrel of a gun, they would notice as being irregular.
Wow.
Yeah, wild turkeys are elusive.
Okay.
And when you see a turkey, you then have to start moving very, very slowly and methodically in order to get the gun up and hopefully get a shot off before they just duck out. And
wow.
They can move.
Okay. So no fun.
For me, no. I like bird hunting. I like animals that are moving fast.
Right.
Interesting. Deer hunting doesn't, not my thing, but I'll deer hunt because I love deer and it's a great source of protein. But you're sitting in a tree and
you're in a tree?
Yeah, you sit in a stand, because deer look at a level height.
Oh, right. Sure.
You can be like Stallone up against a tree and Rambo 1 and then slowly move out. But
sure.
Especially if you're bow hunting, you need to be up higher than the deer and shoot down on them.
Understood. Have you ever bow hunted?
Yes, but I don't like bow hunting, and I've never taken an animal with a bow. My younger brother has. Bow hunting, you got to track the deer. It's like the few times when I had a shot, I was like, all right, there's no way I'm going to get near his heart because of the position. And then I'm going to have to track blood for the next 10 miles. I'm not in,
Yeah, you're more the kosher style. When one of the things that makes meat kosher is that in theory, the animal should suffer a painless death. It's done. It's over. You didn't, drag it out. It's done. It's,
Yeah, I want it to not know where to hit it, and you go out and dress it, field dress it, and get it in, and
Yeah.
But that's just hunting. For the rest of the show, I'm going to talk about, since we're talking about me, another Toby Keith. Did we play that one last time? I want to talk about me. I think we played that with Anna.
Okay.
We might have to play another Toby Keith song at the end here.
Oh
I finished just on Monday. This is Wednesday. I finished my Learn to Row class.
You did?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And, my early feelings was I wasn't having fun in the class because I was we talked about this, the first time I was with non-athletes in my life.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, we're never going to get on the page.
Yeah, you were doing, you were with families that wanted to do a fun activity together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to see this or to say this or whatever, but the people who they weeded themselves out, right? They just figured out how to weed themselves out. So the ones that I'm glad that they were curious and that they came to class, right? I'm glad of all of that. But at some point, I think that they figured out that they needed, it's like, I'm never going to do this again. And I'm holding the class back and whatever the deal might have been. Right.
So how many people started and how many people finished, do you think?
Well, let's see, 12, 4 boats of 8. So 24.
Okay.
And on the last day, Monday, we went out with 8.
Wait, 32, 4 boats of 8.
8. Yeah. We started with
32.
32.
Okay.
Or was it 3 boats of 8?
You said 24.
Oh,
so I
wait. It was 3 boats of 8.
Got it.
24 and 1 4 boat.
I see. Okay.
So 28.
Got it.
On the last class, we went out with 4 boats of 4. So that's 16 and 1 2-man boat.
Oh, wow.
So we weeded out 10 people. I just did that math. All right. So, but everyone who stayed was genuinely interested, and, class got better and better. I had a selfish reason for wanting to learn to row. I see myself as I age, I want to do more and more sports. I still keep up with rock climbing, except I just do it in the gym. I go to a rock climbing gym.
Right.
Boulder around. I keep up with weights. I was just on my spinner for an hour. Right? What have you. As you know, once a year I go climb something high.
Yeah.
These are the ways I keep myself motivated to stay in great shape. I keep putting a bowl of food in front of me, and I go through that like a dog. Just eat the bowl of food in front of me, and that's how I keep it. Right. Well, my thing was, I just want to be able to go out and in a single scull on a lazy morning and just go sculling. Like you see people at the beginning of movies when, the beginning music is still playing somewhere in Chicago, and that kind of thing. Right. You know what I'm talking about?
Hold on, I'm looking it up.
Sculling. That's one person. Look up single.
Oh yeah. Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, you're just kind of gliding. That's what I want to learn how to do.
Oh wow.
And I thought I can cut the course. I was trying to find a private coach that would just teach me how to do that.
Right.
And everyone I tried to, they said, no, you need to take a learning to row class. You need to learn how to sweep row. And I'm like, where, sweep is when you have the one oar, like you see Cambridge races and
right.
And you got 4 guys and 4 guys on
each side. Yeah.
And I was like, where am I going to ever find people to sweep row? It's, I can't get on that schedule. I just want to learn how to row. And everyone says, no, you have to go to class. So I take the class. And at first I'm going, you see, I'm in the wrong place. Like, I was so negative about this class. I did not want to be there. But it's like, I have to go through this to get to me being on that water by myself, doing what I want to do.
Right.
I learned a big lesson. I learned how to do teamwork again with other people, learned how to play along, and really started liking some of these people. I don't collect friends, right? I don't have friends, but, learn some of their names. They learned my name.
Sure.
Chit chat. Oh, your kid. Oh, you had to pick up your kid. Whatever. You just talk. And then I learned that the only way to make the boat go faster is to all be together.
Yeah. Synchronicity.
Right. If you're stronger than the next guy, that chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So
right.
I had to learn a lot. So I did. And on the last day of class, which was Monday, I showed up, and one boat, they asked what people wanted to do on the last day. So you had to write in, do you want to do sweep rowing again? Do you want to do sculling with the 2 oars? I put sculling. Most people put sculling, but 4 people put sweep. They put those 4 people in the sweep boat.
Smart.
And then they had, 2 other boats with 4-man sculling. And there was 1 2-man boat. And I saw that I was in the set pace position, the front position, or which is the back of the boat. You're setting the pace. And I looked at the other name in the 2-man boat, and I didn't recognize it. It's like, this is one of the coach's last names. And then I went, oh, it's Rebecca Hassan. She's one of the coaches. I said, I'm going with Rebecca. This is going to be fun. Me and Rebecca, 2-man boat. But it wasn't Hassan. It was Haven. It was the guy's first name. He's another student.
Oh.
18-year-old student. And I said to the coach, I said, wait, you sending 2 rookies out, me and Haven, on a 2-man boat? And she was like, yeah, you guys can handle it. And I said, you sure about that? And she goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys both pretty good rowers. And so we get out there, and at first, they're coaching everyone up, and they told us, they said, look, Haven, you hold the boat steady. You balance the boat with your oars. Let Vinnie row for a while, and then you guys switch off. Vinnie, you balance the boat. Let Haven go. And once you guys get comfortable out there, row together. And once you got all of those oars going, that boat is skinnier than my ass.
I can't believe that's so.
Things. You see how my hands are? That's how skinny these boats are.
It's about, you're looking at just about the width of your head.
My hips go over the side of.
Oh my God.
Boat, right. That's how. So I was like, are you guys sure about this? This is a race boat. This is not like the one in Muscle Up Dogs. This is this is fucking boat right here.
I know you love rom-coms.
Yeah. And I mean, all right. So we get out there, and I go, and he goes, and then he goes, and I go, and we get pretty we're about 2 miles down the river, and that's the turnaround point, and the coach is there and everything. She's in the boat, and the motorboat, and everything going on. And we tried a couple of times rowing together, and 3 or 4 strokes in, he would catch a crab. Now I think he's a better rower than me. And I kept saying to him, why are you catching a crab? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, I think you lean to the side, and then it causes my oar to not come up high enough. Try to stay straight. So now I'm trying to stay straighter. And while I'm trying to get straight, now I'm getting tight, and I start catching crabs. So every time we try to row together, when we're rowing by ourselves, we're both perfect. While the other guy is steady in the boat, when we try to go together, the fact that it's like, I'm thinking at one point, we've now gone 3 miles. The fact that we're not wet yet is just ridiculous.
So not once, you never overturned it.
Well, right after I thought that thought. Yeah. So in the whole class of 28 people who started, 2 people got wet, me and Haven.
Oh my God.
Which is a good thing, because now I went, okay, this is good, because we have to learn I know how to get back into a sea kayak, which is pretty skinny, right? You got to balance yourself. But a sea kayak doesn't have oars.
Oh my God.
These oars are now upside down, pointing down into the water. And we're looking at handles going up in the bottom of the boat, and we're hanging on to the underside of the boat, like the Poseidon Adventure, except in a smaller thing.
Is anyone
around?
Is anyone around? Like, does the coach see you?
Well, the other boats are around, and the coach sees what's going on, and she putters up, and they got that little putter boat that they come in. And she was like, all right. She goes, I'm going to coach you guys and show you how to get up without the help of another boat. So she got us around. We got the boat over. We got all the oars right. We were doing all the stuff, and it's a learning. I'm loving this. We're learning, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm holding the boat steady, and Haven gets in. And now he's got to hold the boat steady with those paddles while I get in.
Oh my God.
But now getting the second person in is tougher than getting the first person in, because I'm steadying the boat from being in the water. So the center of gravity is way down, and I can pull it while he was pulling on the other side. Now he's trying to do it, and we try. And I finally said to the coach, I said, in the interest of stopping the class.
Yeah.
She goes, yeah, just hop on the barge on her. It's called the launch. She goes, hop on my launch, which is her boat. And I hopped on her boat, and then she pulled me up to it, and I got in, got strapped in, and we went again. But it was a learning experience. And when we got back to the dock, 3 different guys came up to me, and all of these guys, this goes back to being in shape, being my age and being in shape. All of these guys are 60 plus. All different times. They didn't come up to me together. While I was getting out of my wet clothes in the locker room, another guy was taking a leak, and he goes, hey man, he goes, I'm glad someone turned over in the class so we can all see how it works.
Yeah.
And I went, yeah. And another guy caught me outside, he and his wife, and he goes, hey man, I need to work on that, because I don't think I have the strength, or I don't think I'm nimble enough to get back in the boat. So what did you think? It was like, yeah, it was easy. As you notice, I climbed right up on the barge, pulled myself up, and I said, it's tough. It's not easy. There should be a whole class in that, right?
Wow.
I'm going to suggest that there's a class in it, because I'm going to hire a private coach to take me out privately and teach me how to rescue a boat and get back in.
There's not one, I don't know how many sessions there are, but there's not one class on how you get back in, or what you do if you overturn?
As I've learned now that we've been through beginning rowing, And tonight I start novice. I'm going right into novice. I'm not.
Oh my
stopping.
God.
On Sundays, they take boats out. And if you write, to them, hey, I'm interested in going, you can actually get go out with the coaches, and because they're all on crew teams, either high school or college.
Sure.
And they're always practicing. So they'll start letting us jump on the boat to get better.
Wow.
So I'm going to start doing that. And then I raised my hand at the end of the class and said, hey, on top of that, are there private coaches? And they all raised their hand and went, yeah, we're all private. You can hire us all now because you've been through novice. So look, these are college kids, high school kids. They're all on rowing teams and they're all great coaches, right?
That's awesome.
They're young and energetic. You can tell in my voice how excited I am about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. I learned something this summer. Like I legitimately learned something.
Last time you told me about this, I was marveling at how, because so many people are like, I'm too old, I don't want to learn something new. And you doubled down on that, because I know people who say, not only do I not want to learn something new, I don't want to learn it from somebody a third my age. What do they know? And to be able to not even just humble yourself, but see reality for what reality is and going, I don't know, they're on crew team in college, they know something. That's amazing.
And look, I mean, I was coaching people in weightlifting when I was in my teens.
Yeah.
They I knew something, people would let me coach them. So there's always something to learn, right?
That's so great.
I wrote this in my book. Everyone goes through life and says, one day I'm going to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's stopping you? All you need is a pencil and paper. I literally wrote my book with a fountain pen on the back of used envelopes that, when you get the shit in the mail, you may have already won, or a coupon. Yep. I would take those and open them up, flatten them out, and just throw them in my truck. And I would just write with a fountain pen, a literal fountain pen. I'm not talking ballpoint. Gina knows I keep it right here. I have one on my desk.
There's one. He's holding it. I'm holding. He's a calligrapher now.
Yeah, I write almost in calligraphy. The nuns were like hell on us about writing. So we had to perfect penmanship with, it's crazy the stupid shit I can do that.
You do have nice penmanship.
Make me a dime. And the other thing people always say is, I'm going to run a marathon. Start running.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm going to run a marathon one day. Go run a fucking marathon. It's not that hard to do.
It's so funny you say that. Remember, there was a 2019 movie called Brittany Runs a Marathon, and that's exactly what it was about. The girl, Jillian Bell, who she's been on a bunch of things, maybe Mad TV, whatever. Just kind of like a regular girl, regular size, not an athlete, and it's about her going run a marathon.
Yeah, I watched that movie. We talked about it on this podcast at length. Mm. It was a great movie.
Yeah,
and anybody can do anything. You just got to put your mind to it. I watched a film called Just 1 Mile. It's on Amazon. And it's about this race where all you have to do is complete each lap in under 20 minutes, get back into the corral, and then you can start on the next lap. It's like 350 feet of climbing per lap. So everyone doing it tries to finish in 18 minutes. They don't rush themselves. And it's the last man standing. So you don't know how long the race is going to go for. Now that there's a documentary on it, and I suggest you watch it, Gina. Now that there's a documentary on it, the guy who's winning, hands down, this guy with a beard down to, it looks like he belongs.
I see him.
Top.
Yep.
Now some actual big time athletes are going to come in, because now people are going to see it. People that run Badwater and run Barkley marathons and all that, they're going to see this and go, okay, pal, let's give you a race.
Right.
Right now, I looked around and went, okay, he had one real worthy opponent. And I picked that guy out from the beginning. You should watch it tonight, Gina. It's really interesting.
I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Yeah, he just turned everybody into submission, that guy. He because it's all psychological.
Wow.
And they all break down. And he, by the way, he's a Navy SEAL, that guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. His story is pretty amazing. But I'm going, you know what? Pretty amazing story. But you know what, pal? Now that this documentary's out, I know some runners that are going to come in. As a matter of fact, I might get this kid that we sponsor, Mike McKnight, and say, Mike, let me just send you to this race next year. Let's see what you can do.
Wow, this is crazy. You're right. If it's last man standing, it's I would say if you're already in some sort of shape, it's mostly psychological.
Somebody, like one kid came out there. The other stories, there was a story. You know what, Gina? I command that you watch it because there's another story in there. I was tearing up like you wouldn't believe.
Well, yeah, I like this guy. Okay,
but it's not that guy. It's another piece of the story. I won't ruin it for you. But you've just gone through this, so you might want to check it out. And then there's a kid who had never run anything past a marathon, and he went way beyond where he should have gone. Right. And it's watching all of these other stories of people just going, I'm just going to go out there and see how long I can go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's amazing.
But the woman who won Badwater this year, she won it outright. Badwater had an outright women's winner, and she almost set a new record. I like to see her go on that course. I think she can do well.
That's awesome.
There are a lot of, I don't know if Scott Jurg is a vegan runner. Scott Jurg might be able to go and tear it up. I'd like to see a lot of people go out there and try.
Well, it's like you said, now that it's gotten this sort of wide distribution from last year, people are going to go, okay. Yeah, you want some real competition? I'll come down.
Let me come down and see what I can do.
Oh, that's great.
Mike McKnight, my guy, the guy I sponsor, he's got a bunch of FKTs. Do you know what an FKT is?
Feel like we've talked about this. Fully.
No.
Okay, what is it?
Fastest known time. So
that's
people,
yeah.
Things that that doesn't actually have a race. They're fastest known times, and he's got FKTs. At any rate, look, folks, I learned something new, and I'm going to continue on. And all of that started because I got excited about my rowing machine during the pandemic. So that came out of the pandemic. I started rowing, and I was like, why am I just doing this if I'm not doing anything with it? And when you start getting upwards of 5 million meters, you look around and go, I need to do something else with this. I need to take all of this and see if I can do it, right? And here we are. I've learned teamwork again. I'm interested in being in a master's program where they race and you got to work with a team. I'm hoping I can make that program. Yeah, I'm in.
I love it.
All right, folks. Gina Grad has a show with Brian Bishop. It's called the Gina and Brian Show.
Close, the Brian and Gina Show. And Brian, depending on when this comes out, Brian is back with us. He needed to take some time out for nothing brain surgery, but it's one of our Saturday shows. He takes us through the entire procedure. So you'll definitely want to hear that. Brian and Gina Show, the official podcast of Los Angeles Magazine, wherever you listen to podcasts. And of course, I have to plug the book, My Extra Mom, because right now we're working on My Extra Dad. So go ahead and get yourself a copy of My Extra Mom. It's about being a step parent. It's for kids anywhere you buy books, but I would suggest going to VinnieTortorich.com, clicking on the Amazon banner and grabbing it that way.
I could not have said any of that any better. So, folks, on behalf of Gina Grad, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with another Toby Keith song.